Meanwhile, Arizona pastor Michael Salmon is now sitting in his jail after his home was raided by more than a dozen Phoenix police officers and city officials. What did they do wrong? Well, apparently you can't hold private Bible studies on your own property, at least he couldn't. Joining us right now is the wife of that jailed Bible study leader, Suzanne Salmon, and from the Rutherford Institute, John Whitehead. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Suzanne, yeah, I've read in the local papers out there that the city had a problem because you had the Bible study there at your house, and they said, you know what, essentially it's a church, and because you're not zoned for a church, you're breaking the rules, and that's why he was arrested.
That is correct, yes, sir.
And what? It's your house, it's your living room. Who can, you know, you're doing a private Bible study. People do that in my neighborhood all the time, and he was arrested?
That is correct. It defies logic, honestly. I don't understand, you know, that something so small got just so large like this, you know.
No
People
kidding.
do it all over the United States all the time, so.
Right. His sentence is, and we're going to put up a graphic, 60 days in jail. He started his term on Monday, 3 years probation, and a $12,180 fine. John, is he being discriminated against because of his Christian faith? Because I have read that that's how he feels.
Well, sure he is. I mean, if they can categorize any kind of religion and say, hey, this is, you got a church or a synagogue. We've actually had synagogue cases where cities have done this, that you can't have a synagogue in your home. And we fought those cases, but the key is the Constitution guarantees the right to freedom of religion, the right to assemble and talk with each other wherever you want to be, on public streets or in your homes. And so what you have here is, I think, something that's so shocking that you might think it might happen in some place like Iran or some of the countries around the world that are regimes, but happening in the United States, in my opinion, this is just so shocking it's beyond belief. But again, I'm seeing this as a pattern across the country.
Sure. Here's a quote from Vicki Hill, the chief assistant city prosecutor in Phoenix. She writes, "It came down to zoning and proper permitting. Anytime you are holding a gathering of people continuously, as he does, we have concerns about people being able to exit the facility properly in case there's a fire, and that really all comes, that's really all this comes down to." And I know that you, Suzanne, put together a little video showing, you're talking about people parked in my driveway and alley and stuff like that. Look at the neighbors. And right now we're taking a look at the team that came and arrested him. You can have a big poker party in your neighborhood. You can have a Tupperware party in your neighborhood. Nobody gets in trouble. But you say you have a private Bible study and you get arrested.
That's right. I mean, it doesn't make sense. You know, people are crowding our streets, other neighbors, but yet our people park all behind in our property, and it makes no sense.
John,
why we're being targeted.
Sure. John, why are they being targeted, in your estimation?
I think, again, we've seen this when a city agency focuses on someone. I mean, you had firefighters actually with Suzanne and her husband coming in their backyard, breaking up a barbecue with 20 people. The city is focused on them by sending police in their house, like a SWAT team raid, for someone who's meeting to have a church. But the thing historically, you got to remember, the early Christian church all met in the homes. There would be no church today as we know it if it hadn't been for the fact that they met in the home. So, and the other thing is, and Suzanne's right, you can do Tupperware parties, you can do all kinds of meetings on a regular basis, but for some reason, if they call you a church, you're illegal. And again, that's what regimes do, okay?
Well, it all came down to zoning, according to the city of Phoenix. So, a crazy story. Suzanne Salmon and John Whitehead, we thank you both for joining us live.
Thank you.
What a story. Folks, what do you think? Is that appropriate that they would arrest that guy and jail him for 60 days? Email us, friends@foxnews.com.